Welcome back, it's Nine, and today we have another big video about the PlayStation 5. We are going to talk about the PlayStation blog and the post they made there about all the different experiences that are going to be had on the PS5 from many different developers, and then I'm quickly going to touch up on an alleged leak that we won't even give that much attention to, I promise. Now, before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. Now, let's get these leaks out of the way. Number one, these leaks come from a guy on Twitter called @IronManPS5. He makes a bunch of claims. They're all bullshit. Don't listen to any of it. Most of it is stuff we already know, and the claims that are there that we don't know are pure speculation. Nothing credible there, and what personally really throws all of this off is the North American launch there. We already know Sony is launching global. There's no question about that. They've come out, they said they're going to be launching globally. There is not going to be a staggered release across the world. That period, done, finished. Tony Stark @IronManPS5 is not saying the truth. So let's put that aside, move on to the main event, which is the PS blog post. Now, this was posted yesterday. Of course, yesterday we talked about a lot of stuff that was said over at gamesindustry.biz, and that was a really good article. Very nice interview with Eric Limpel, and we're going to be going now over the PlayStation blog post, and it's titled Presenting PlayStation's First Global Ad Spot Showcasing Key Immersive Features for the PS5 Console Generation. All right, so I'm going to just go over the main portions of this. We're not going to go over the entire article. It's just way too long for that, and I just want to get to the meat of it, right? The good stuff. So the first thing that I see, right, and they're talking a lot about the DualSense wireless controller here, and it's reassuring, right? We talk a lot about the wireless DualSense controller, and there's so much good stuff there. So hearing more about it is going to get you guys more excited if you already haven't heard. So this first one comes from the dev team over working on Miles Morales, and it says, the haptic feedback precision allows us to do all sorts of new things, and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales will be hinting to players which direction attacks are coming from by providing haptic feedback from the appropriate direction on the DualSense wireless controller. What does it feel like to use Miles' stealth ability? How does a Venom Blast feel? Because of the high resolution of DualSense wireless controller's haptic system, we can really push the dimensionality of the feedback. For instance, as you hold down square to do a Venom punch, you feel Spider-Man's bio-electricity crackle cross from the left side of the controller, culminating in the right side on impact. So that's pretty incredible. If you think about this, a lot of times we talked about bows, we talked about, guns, we've talked about so many different things that involve weapons, but now we're looking at it from, as a player, you're making an attack with your body, and it's going to resonate in the controller. That is incredible. I can't wait to see how that actually feels when you're playing the game. So I'm already liking what I'm hearing about the DualSense. Now, this is the next game that I'm really excited for, and that's Deathloop. So they're saying, I'm really excited by the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback, both features that will bring some physicality in game experiences and give important feedback. Deathloop being a first-person shooter, we do a lot of things to make weapons feel differently from one another. One I like is blocking the triggers when your weapon jams to give to players an immediate feedback even before the animation plays out, which prompts the player in a physical way that they have to unjam their gun. So that is an incredible addition. Now, I wonder, if you put a lot of force on it, will it still click down? Like, how is that going to work? And I think that's the most interesting thing, too, is like, they talk about adaptive triggers and how they're going to change for tension and pressure, and now we're talking about locking them out. How are they going to lock it out? Like, is there a point where once you push down all the way, you're going to break your controller, or is it that eventually you can push it down if you put enough force, but it won't really impact the controller, and it's more of just like a resistance? I'm very curious to see exactly how that plays out. Regardless, very, very interesting, and I can't wait to experience that firsthand. This next one's about Demon's Souls, and it says, with the DualSense wireless controller and the power of haptics, we can make the combat in Demon's Souls feel grittier, darker, and deadlier. Now you feel every blow as you strike down your enemies and cast each spell. You'll experience the force of a titanic boss attack as you pull off a well-timed guard. Metal strikes metal when your foes block your attacks or you block theirs. That extra sensory feedback through the controller allows you to know your attack hit home and your perfectly timed parry was a success, so you can react faster and more decisively. We can also turn the simple act of pulling a lever to open a gate into a sensory experience. This is something that Rumble could never do. It could never replicate the feeling of metal striking metal or fire crackling in your hand as you conjure magic. Haptics are integral to the experience, to immersing the player in the world and adding to the gameplay. The visual, oral, and tactile working together takes this new generation of gaming into the future. Man, and really it's just more of the same, and I'm not going to keep going through every single one of these because there is so many examples of how they're truly taking advantage of the DualSense, and I'm telling you, this is going to be an entirely new experience. Night and day difference between the current gen we're in next gen, and I think until we get our hands on it, it's all just talk because you can't truly understand until you've experienced it firsthand. So very exciting stuff, and it's got me more excited for the PlayStation 5 than I've ever been, really, especially when they describe it the way they do. So I have an idea of what I expect, and I'm sure it's going to reflect that when I actually do experience it. So lastly, what they say here is that we'll have more to share in the coming weeks. Keep your eyes peeled. So it must mean that, you know, I'm going to give them 2 weeks to give us, you know, some sort of sign that they're going to have another event. I think 2 weeks is reasonable from the date that this was posted, which was yesterday, and that's the 20th of August. So I'm hoping 2 weeks from now, we're going to get an announcement or they're going to show us something. Now, obviously, we're going to be outside of August. We're going to be in September by then, and I guess we might have been wrong on a potential August date for an event, and I think we're just going to have to accept it for what it is if that is the case. But this is a sign that we are going to hear something soon, and hopefully something big enough to get us all excited and not thinking so much about the price, release date, pre-order date, because they will have revealed that then. We'll see what happens. But overall, very satisfied with the news that came out on this PlayStation blog, also with the news that came out with GamesIndustry.biz. Very, very good stuff, and I'm glad that they're talking more. I think their silence is really felt with the fans because we're so excited about the console, right? We want to get our hands on it. We want to experience it, and when we're not able to do that, it just feels like a lifetime until we actually hear something. So I'm sure soon we'll hear something, and there'll be a lot to be excited about. I'm telling you, 2 weeks from now, I guarantee that we will hear something. So I'm going to pass this on to you all and ask you, does this get you excited for the PS5? Are you more excited hearing about the DualSense? You guys got to let me know in the comments. And I'm going to ask, although I know the answer from you guys already more than likely, do you think at Iron Man PS5 is saying the truth, or do you think he's just speculating, as most people probably will think? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos. Hit the like button. Follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. Share this video with a friend, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.